Hello again. Welcome to another edition of Man Club. I recently received my P2R Throttle Body Spacer in the mail via UPS. I thought it was a little exorbitant, $14-15 for shipping for this little tiny box, but whatever, it's here. It's a middle of the week. It's Wednesday night, but screw it. Should be a quick job. Let's throw it in. Let's get going. Okay, for the job, we're going to need a ratchet, a little extension, a 12 and a 13, 12 for the OEM, 13 for the replacement, P2R heads that go in, the threaded bolt, and a 10 to get the battery off, a torque wrench, flat tip screwdriver to get the clamps off the SRI. I've got a 12mm wrench, you could probably use a 13 too. Pliers are always handy. And to help get that throttle body off, because it just doesn't pop off when you do the screws, it kind of is on there. I use a metal putty knife with a nice little light taps. You don't want to mar anything up, so that's what we're going to use. And once we got everything open, we're going to go ahead and clean out the throttle body with some cleaner. Real quick, you don't want to work on a hot engine, so when I got home, I opened the hood. Like this little fan in here blowing on the area. It's nice and cool to the touch. We won't be burning our hands tonight. So we're going to start out tonight by disconnecting this little adapter here. There's a couple of flat tip clamps, and then we'll see if we can get this out of the way. If you have a stock box and you're even thinking about doing this Takeda or any kind of SRI or CAI, I'd go ahead and wait and do both of them at the same time, because in looking at this, you know, when you pull this off, you're going to have access to the coolant line, the coolant bypass underneath and all that. So if you're going to do them both, wait and do it at the same time. But what we're basically going to do is take these two off, move this out of the way, and our spacer should go right in this area here. Next, we're going to disconnect the electronics. Next, we're going to start pulling the throttle body off with a 12mm socket, or you can use a 12mm wrench. Okay, we've got on the bottom two there's nuts, and on the top two there's a long bolt that looks just like that. And then the throttle body's on there pretty good, at least mine was. So, took my trusty putty knife, wedged it right there between the throttle body and the gasket, and just lightly tapped on it with the hammer until it gave way. Now it's loose and I can slide it out. Okay, to get these long studs out, you can do either the 2-nut solution, where you put on a nut, put on another nut, and then back off the front one until it catches the back and it'll turn. Or you can just grab this middle piece where there's no threads with some vice grips, because these are going away. We're not going to use these again. Again, with our putty knife, we're going to get in here and we're going to peel off this gasket. After you peel away the gasket, you'll see it left a little bit of gasket material here. We want to get on it with the putty knife again. We really don't want anything getting inside. So I'm going to stick an old Tool concert shirt in there. Whatever you got available, whatever. Just don't want your flakes falling in there. Plug it up there and scrape away. Alright, next we'll open up our box that costs $15 to ship. We'll take a look at what we got here. We've got our spacer, we got some nuts, some bolts, excuse me, and a washer with a little plug for right here, and 2 washers. So we're going to get this stuff ready and throw it in. So on the opposite side of the label, there's a little hole there. Unless you're going to use the nitrous or whatever tonight, basically going to take our little Teflon plug there and plug it up. Alright, now that we've got our part here all cleaned off, we got no gasket material left on, we're going to take our spacer, we're going to slip a part of these Teflon, or whatever they're made out of, plastic gaskets, one on either side, and start installing it. Alright, everything's ready to go. We're ready to install it. We've pretty much sandwiched our pieces here. We got our emblem for the brand name is facing front, and we've got the notch at the top, so that's how it needs to go in. The studs are nice. They come from the factory, because you can basically slide this thing on and hang it there, and not have to juggle all this stuff, but we don't have those anymore, so we're just basically going to have to hold this and feed a screw through here, through all this, into here, get the top two going, and then finger feed them all, and then tighten them down. Alright, so an easy way to do this is just take your extension with nothing on it, put your bolt in there. Once I've got one going here, feed it through, and then just turn it with the extension, so if your fingers are slippery or whatever, you still can grab it and just get them going. So next we're going to get out our torque wrench. We set it to 16 foot-pounds as per the manual. We'll probably hit top left, then bottom right, and either bottom left, top right, or whatever. Just kind of like you're tightening a tire. You don't want to go straight around. Just go through and get them all 16 foot-pounds. We've got our nuts all tightened down to 16 foot-pounds. It's nice and solid. It's in there good. It's looking good. We're about to put everything back together, but before we do, what we're going to do is take an old t-shirt, whatever, rag, and we're going to kind of stick it down here. And we've got some throttle body cleaner. We're just going to shoot it inside, and might as well clean it while it's open. We don't open this thing up too much, so we can hit it while we do, and then close it back. All right, we've got our little adapter back on. Push this thing all the way up, butted it up here, get it nice and straight. Get these both nice and tight, snug. It's back. It's pretty sturdy again. We need to plug in our electronics. There's one here and there's one in the back down here. I don't know if you can see that I disconnected, and we're almost out of the woods here. And there's a look at it. Finished product. We're all done here. Just reconnect the battery cable and start it up and let it run. Well, this wraps up another edition of Man Club. Tonight we got the P2R installed. I just took it on the test bin. It's running good. It's not something that you're going to just go, holy shit, listen to this new horsepower, listen to the motor, all that. It's pretty mild, but if it's going to help maybe give me a little bit better gas mileage and maybe a couple more horses, then I'm cool with it. And it looks really good under the hood, so I'm pretty pleased with tonight's effort. Until next time, keep them hanging. Oh, wow.